There are times in life when our strength feels gone, and the challenges we face seem too heavy to bear. In these moments, we seek a source of strength that can help us endure. The good news is, Jesus has already shown us the secret to being strong and resilient, even in the face of the greatest adversities. His life, teachings, and example offer a blueprint for courage, endurance, and spiritual growth that applies to every aspect of our lives. Throughout his life and ministry, Jesus didn't just speak about strength, he showed it. His every action, every word, and every decision reflected a profound understanding of what it means to endure and overcome. Today, we will explore 6 powerful secrets from Jesus that teach us how to find resilience and courage in every circumstance. These principles are not mere suggestions, they are living truths that can transform how we face life's difficulties. Secret 1. Trust in God. From the very beginning of his ministry, Jesus demonstrated that true strength comes from trusting God. Even in the wilderness, after 40 days of fasting, when the devil tempted him to turn stones into bread, he responded, "Man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God." Here, we see that strength is not merely physical or mental, it is spiritual. Trusting God means relying on His wisdom, His provision, and His timing. Trusting God in our moments of fragility renews our strength and anchors us when storms arise. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 reminds us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and He will guide your path." By placing our confidence in God rather than in our own understanding, we gain courage, clarity, and resilience that no circumstance can shake. When we trust Him, we're reminded that no matter how great the challenge, we are never alone. Every time we step out in faith, as Jesus did, we tap into a strength that transcends human limitations. Trusting God gives us courage when fear threatens, hope when despair looms, and perseverance when our endurance seems spent. It is the foundation upon which all other aspects of resilience are built. Secret 2. Pray constantly. Prayer connects us to God and strengthens us. It is more than asking for help. It is a communion with the Creator, a channel of spiritual renewal. In Gethsemane, Jesus prayed repeatedly, surrendering his will to the Father. Despite knowing the suffering he was about to endure, he sought the Father's guidance and strength. Through persistent prayer, he demonstrated that alignment with God's will provides the endurance needed to face trials. Prayer is the lifeline that connects our hearts to God's power. It is through consistent prayer that we gain clarity in decision-making, strength in weakness, and resilience in the face of adversity. Just as Jesus took time to pray in quiet solitude, we too are called to maintain a dialogue with God, not only in moments of need, but as a continual practice of faith. Prayer transforms anxiety into peace, fear into courage, and doubt into steadfastness. The practice of praying constantly deepens our trust in God and fortifies our spirit for every challenge we may face. Secret 3. Serve others. Jesus showed that true strength comes from serving others. Serving is not merely an act of kindness, it is a spiritual discipline that builds resilience and character. By helping those in need, we grow in empathy, compassion, and inner strength. John 13, 14, and 15 tells us, "Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet." When we put the needs of others above our own, we learn to live selflessly, discovering purpose and fulfillment that no personal achievement alone can provide. Serving others strengthens our spirit by shifting our focus away from fear and self-protection toward generosity and love. Every act of service reinforces the truth that our lives are meaningful not only for ourselves, but for the world around us. Resilience grows as we realize that even small acts of love and kindness can create profound change. Just as Jesus transformed lives through service, so too can our actions inspire hope, comfort, and faith in others. Serving others reminds us that strength is not measured by power, wealth, or status, but by the love and compassion we extend to those around us. Secret 4. Have faith in difficult times. Faith anchors us when life's storms rage. Jesus' life is full of examples showing that faith is not passive. It is active trust in God's power, goodness, and plan. In Matthew 8:23-27, Jesus and his disciples faced a violent storm on the Sea of Galilee. While the disciples panicked, Jesus slept peacefully. When awakened, he rebuked the wind and waves and said, "Why are you so afraid, you of little faith?" And the storm subsided. This moment teaches us that faith provides peace and resilience even when circumstances seem impossible. Even the smallest measure of faith can unleash God's power. The woman who had suffered for 12 years believed that merely touching Jesus' garment would heal her, and it did. This teaches us that faith is transformative. It transcends suffering, fear, and limitation, connecting us directly to God's power. Jesus reminds us in Matthew 17:20 that even faith as small as a mustard seed can move mountains. Faith is not about its size, but about the one in whom it is placed. In times of adversity, our faith sustains us, calms our hearts, and propels us forward with confidence. It is faith that allows us to see beyond temporary struggles and trust that God's plans are at work, even when invisible.
Secret 5. Forgive wholeheartedly. Forgiveness is a path to spiritual strength. It is not easy, especially when we are deeply hurt, yet Jesus modeled forgiveness in its most profound form. On the cross, he prayed, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Even in extreme pain, he chose release over resentment, teaching us that forgiveness is a source of freedom, peace, and resilience. Forgiveness restores relationships, frees us from bitterness, and allows our hearts to grow in strength. In Matthew 18:21-22, Peter asked how often he should forgive, and Jesus replied, "Not 7 times, but 77 times." Forgiveness is not limited or conditional. It is a continual practice that strengthens our spiritual core and mirrors God's grace. By forgiving, we release the chains of resentment and cultivate a heart capable of love, peace, and endurance. This is not weakness, but extraordinary strength, a resilience that cannot be shaken by the offenses of others. Forgiveness transforms us, just as God's forgiveness transforms every believer, empowering us to live fully and walk with freedom. Secret 6. Accept God's will. True resilience comes not only from courage, prayer, service, faith, and forgiveness, but from surrender, trusting that God's plan, even in pain, is perfect. In Gethsemane, Jesus prayed, "Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me, yet not my will, but yours be done." Here, he shows us that surrender is not weakness, but the highest form of strength, a foundation of spiritual resilience. Abraham's willingness to obey God, even when asked to sacrifice his son, reminds us that acceptance of God's will requires trust beyond understanding. God provided a ram at the last moment, illustrating that obedience and surrender lead to provision, growth, and fulfillment of God's purposes. Acceptance also requires focus and trust. Peter began to sink when he doubted, yet Jesus' hand lifted him. Keeping our eyes on God allows us to navigate life's storms with confidence and peace. Waiting on God, as Psalm 27:14 teaches, develops resilience, patience, and spiritual maturity. Job's story reinforces this, showing that even amidst unimaginable loss, surrender to God nurtures unshakable faith and eventual restoration. Acceptance is ongoing. Every season of life, every change, and every unexpected event invites us to trust God anew. When we pray, "Your kingdom come, your will be done," we align our desires with God's plan. This surrender brings peace, purpose, and resilience, allowing us to face life's challenges with confidence, knowing God controls all things. By trusting God, praying constantly, serving others, having faith, forgiving, and accepting His will, we are empowered to face life's challenges with strength and resilience. These teachings from Jesus are not just words, they are living principles that transform our hearts and lives. Embrace them, apply them, and watch as your spiritual strength grows, your peace deepens, and your resilience becomes unshakable. If this message touched your heart, subscribe to the channel, like, and share to spread the light of Christ. Together, we can grow stronger in faith, encourage one another, and walk boldly in the strength that only God provides. May God bless you abundantly with courage, peace, and resilience for every situation you encounter. See you in the next video.